Hello? Oh, no. Buy the Viennetta stocks, sell the squash court. What do you mean where from? From the office. It's open 24/7. We have a pony, we have a jacuzzi. Just get your butt over there. Unfortunately, my peeps, it is no longer power lunches and jazzercise for us. Now we are stuck here in our little depression dens, our little home offices. No more gag-sized telephones. It's all over. We're just stuck here at home. Or are we? Lots of you asked me to make a video about where are the best spots to work from in Edinburgh, because a lot of you maybe moved here quite recently. You don't have your whole home office situation quite set up right. Or maybe you're like me and sometimes working from home just doesn't quite yield the same amount of focus as going outside and getting a bit more excited about your surroundings, or maybe just like minimizing the distraction that is your cat trying to shovel his poop like 1.5 meters away from your office. You asked and I am delivering today, and we're gonna start with what I think is my best sort of hidden secret when it comes to this here in Edinburgh, because we actually have our own app for this, which is really exciting. This is an Edinburgh made app and it is called, I'm gonna show you. It's called Swerve. It has my favorite colors and branding, so that's already a solid start. It's basically a cool little directory of places that have agreed that they will welcome workers, who want to sit down and use their Wi-Fi and have coffee and, not kick them out. And for the longest time, I always kept thinking, okay, so the local cafes are quite busy, but the hotel lobbies always seem quite inviting, quite cozy, quite large and airy, and they seem to have a lot of power outlets, they seem to have free Wi-Fi, so why wouldn't I just go there? But I think that before Swerve, I kept thinking, it feels a bit odd, not staying there. It would probably be fine, but with Swerve, I actually have something that, tells them, like, I am here because you agreed to this. And what more, Swerve often gives you freebies, like free coffee or discount, but, enough about Swerve. This is not actually a sponsored video. I just really like this app, and I love supporting local developers and local startup starters. But I wanted to focus on some of the places on Swerve that I love working from. First of which is Moxie. This is in Fountainbridge. It's just across the street from Hilton, and they are actually both on Swerve, but Moxie has this cool kind of hip vibe about it, and I think that it's just the most perfect spot to work from on Swerve, because there's actually a dedicated kind of like a work area, but there's also meeting rooms. There are small little sort of like double tables. There's also some like single seating, and there are so many power outlets. The Wi-Fi is pretty solid. It's not quite speedy enough for me when I need to be downloading like 4K videos, but it's good. Like, I think it should be fine for most of you. Also, Swerve keeps adding cool new places to their list. So recently, actually kind of for this video's purposes, we visited the newly opened Virgin Hotel. You probably noticed it. It kind of has one entrance/exit on top of Victoria Street, and then at the bottom, kind of going into Cowgate, is the other entrance exit, and that is also where the Eve Bar Cafe is. I think that you can get a breakfast and brunch there, which do look tasty. I will probably be back there to try that, but for now we only sat down for our free Swerve coffee, because again, they do have deals for Swervers. And it was a really nice, really interesting interior, really cool to work from. And I think that places like this are especially good if you're trying to have like a nice little meeting with someone, and you just can't really rely on the central cafes to have a space to talk and to actually hear each other. Eve, I think the best thing about it is the location and the sort of like excitement of being in a really cool hotel. Also, the staff was great and the coffee was better than at Moxie, I would say. But in general, I think that the power outlet numbers weren't as plentiful as in Moxie, so Moxie is still my favorite. There's, however, so many places to discover through Swerve. Definitely download it and check out which spots are in your area. I think you can work from the Scotsman Hotel, which has like a £10 day pass, for which you get unlimited tea or coffee. if you're a heavy coffee drinker, that might be right up your alley, like it is up mine. And there's a bunch of kind of more bar-y places. I think Joseph Pierce's and all the other Swedish cafes, restaurants around Leith are on Swerve as well. Anyway, now that we're done with Swerve, as my biggest pro tip when it comes to working from somewhere that's not your house here in Edinburgh, I'm gonna move on to cafes, because I think that that would be the kind of most logical first step for a lot of people. I mean, the cafe scene here is amazing, but the problem is I think most of our cafes are either really popular or quite small, and very often both of those things. And I find it really rude from my side to bring my laptop and sit there for more than 2 hours if I had, 1 or 2 coffees. I know that it's okay, but personally I don't like doing it because I feel like I'm blocking the space. Like if there's only 4 tables, it means that I'm basically blocking up 25% of their space, and it just doesn't feel right to me. However, there are some cafes that I would say are a bit more built for workers. First one of them being Coffee Saints, which is right next to the St. James Quarter, which, if you're visiting, maybe that's like quite a frequented area for visitors, so that might come in handy. It's a really large cafe, and if you're an illustrator or, other type of artist, you will find it lovely that they have those huge wide tables. I always look out for that in cafes, and I mean, most cafes here really don't have that much space there, so yeah, seeing like multiple wide tables is always so inviting to me as someone who wants to like really kind of expand, especially like with my elbows. I need to kind of like get like into it when I'm drawing. So having all that space was really cool to see. Coffee is all right. It's pretty affordable. I think it's ran by a charity, so everything you buy there is gonna, go into good causes, and they seem to be really open to people working from there too. I think that they are actually also on Swerve, which I only found out later. But as I was researching for this video, two of my friends independently on each other told me that this is a place where they go to work, and we tried it with Simon, and it is a really nice space. I would say a bit busier around lunch, but still plenty of seating, and then they're open until I believe 4, which I wish it was a bit later, but overall a solid place to work from. Yay! Also, I think they had a pretty good internet there. Yeah. Another place just around the corner from there, if you're looking for something more cafe-like and you want like a really good coffee to go with your work, if that is something that is a non-negotiable for you, then I really recommend Triple Tree or Triple Try. I still don't know. I will say Triple Tree. I think that sounds cooler. And it's this little kind of like Asian style coffee shop on York Place, which is where kind of the trams used to end, but right now they're just working on the tram works there. Anyway, the trams will be stopping right in front of it, hopefully soon. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that place always feels both very chill and quite generous when it comes to seating. There are so many tables in there, and not only like the kind of classic 2 people, 3 people, smaller tables, but also there's that one big table kind of, as I mentioned before, I have this like radar for big solid tables for illustrators, and they do have that, and the coffee is delicious, and they do make some nice kind of lunchy and breakfasty things. So yeah, I think that out of all of the sort of independent smaller cafes, that would be my top pick. And then I'm gonna delve into a totally different category of cafes, which is university cafes. This one is called Levels, and it's kind of on the other side, it's kind of on the back side, also known as the back side of Royal Mile. Don't worry, map of all of these places is gonna be down in the doobly-doo. Anyway, this place, I went there for the first time ever for this video, and mind blown. It's humongous inside, and they have such a wide selection of foods and drinks, and they seem to even be licensed. You can get a beer there, which is amazing, and they're open until 6. The internet was solid. Honestly, none of these places that I visited for this video had internet that would kind of live up to what I'm used to from home. I guess that's just something that you have to deal with when you work from the outside. But yeah, they had huge tables, they had small tables, there were like spots that were more comfy. There were these kind of like single study cots. It's a really cool place. I will definitely be going back there. And it's right next to Baskin-Robbins, if that's a selling point for you. Actually, now I'm also realizing that it's right next to Mumbai Gelato. So, but Baskin-Robbins is open until like 9 p.m. So. Levels Cafe is also on Too Good To Go. So if you ever want to pick up some cheapo food there, these guys, they just cover all the bases. Perfect. So as I mentioned, going to the smaller cafes, I've seen someone on the internet recommend the Milkman as a place to work from. If you're from Edinburgh, the Milkman is not even a place to sit in. Like, they have like, there's like 3 seats there and they're always busy with Instagrammers. Nothing against Instagrammers, but these cafes they just do not have the space to, like, you can't even make like plans around going to the Milkman. Like, if you walk around and there's a free seat in there, you just kind of like jump at it and that's it. Like, you just have to take that opportunity, but you definitely do not plan to work from there, and I would feel so rude to do that. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that you will not hear me say this often, but in this particular scenario, I think that the chain cafes might be a good choice. Me personally, I do quite enjoy the Haymarket Starbucks for working from. One of the reasons is that I just really like the staff there. They always make the coffee the way I actually ask for, which is not the case for all the Starbucks here. I also really like the Frederick Street Starbucks, which was recently renovated, and it has this like back room which is quite quiet, and I think that it's very kind of work friendly. And also the Starbucks that's on Royal Mile, kind of next to the Tron Kirk, that one seems to be open until quite late, and it has this whole kind of upper level, which during the day is often really busy. But honestly, like, because it's so large, you will probably find a space, but kind of in the evening, if they don't like close up the top level early, it's a really nice place to work kind of later on in the day. Also, I noticed that in Bransfield, Seeds for the Soul, the vegan cafe, is open until like 8-ish or 9 even, and I've seen some people work from there, so maybe that might also work for you. I just remember that. It wasn't even in the script, but it is an extra bonus tip. Yay! Now, if you're taking your remote work very seriously, we also have proper kind of remote work co-working spaces. We have WeWork, which is on George Street. It looks great. It's like overlooking the castle. I think that's like, if you have the budget for that, or if your employer is willing to pay for that, then I'm very jealous and you should go for it. It looks great. There's also a bunch of other co-working spaces, I think in Leith, and like in like the new town area, and there's something kind of close to Grassmarket. I did try to send out emails to ask if they would let me shoot there, just to kind of like have a little walkthrough, shoot their establishments, but none of them got back to me. So yeah, you guys have to give me more of those thumbs up and more of those subscribes, because clearly I don't have enough clout. I also noticed that on the internet some people said you could work from the libraries here, and I don't think that that would be my personal recommendation, but you might be luckier than me and you might be living next to a library that actually has some nice kind of like working space. I also know that the main library of the University of Edinburgh does open to public. You have to get like a special library card for there, but from what I've heard from some people on Reddit, you don't actually get access to Wi-Fi if you're a member of the public. And also some of my friends who are actual students of Edinburgh University said that it does get quite busy. So I think that it shouldn't be like your first sort of port of call. I truly think that you should swerve first, and then you could maybe try some of the cafes that I mentioned, and after that maybe you can go pretend you're an Edinburgh University student. If you think that there are any extra spots in Edinburgh that you would recommend to other peeps to work from, let us know in the comment section where all the other peeps congregate. This is where they collect their little breadcrumbs of little info nuggets. That's what peeps do, I think.
Sure.
I'm trying to build some sort of lore here. I don't think I'm doing a very good job at it, but you can't stop me. This was a fun little video to work on. Thank you all for giving me this idea. Of course, as you know, to support me and my videos, it's great if you give this video a like, if you give me a subscribe, if you ring that little bell so you never miss any of the upcoming videos about Edinburgh's neighborhoods and other practical info and little day trips from Edinburgh. Before I see you in my next video, don't forget to visit me on Instagram, on KakiBot and KakiBlog, and yeah, I shall see you soon. Bye! So you know when you like forget how to move your limbs? I know.